All right, in other news, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he never had the privilege of visiting Jeffrey Epstein's island, saying he turned down an invitation from the convicted sex offender in what the president called a moment of good judgment. Trump's remarks were his latest effort to distance himself from the political anger over his administration's handling of files related to Epstein's case and renewed questions over his past ties with the disgraced financier who died by suicide in a New York jail in 2019.
I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island.
Epstein owned a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands where he entertained prominent people from politics, business and entertainment. Prosecutors have alleged he used the compound to conceal the sex trafficking and abuse of underage victims. President Trump was asked about whether he is mulling a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, a key associate of Jeffrey Epstein, who is serving a 20-year-long sentence. Trump said he is allowed to pardon Maxwell, but no one has asked him about it.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it. Nobody's asked me about it. It's in the news about that aspect of it, but right now it would be inappropriate to talk about it. So,
Trump, who socialized with Epstein in the 1990s and early 2000s, also offered new insight into why their ties ended. The president said he cut ties after Epstein attempted to recruit staff who worked for Trump. Last week, White House Communications Director Stephen Cheong said that Trump had cut ties with Epstein because he regarded him as a creep. Trump also said he was not overly interested in the Epstein sex trafficking case. Trump was also asked about a Wall Street Journal report that he allegedly drew a picture in a birthday letter for Epstein years ago, and this is what he had to say on that claim.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women.
Meanwhile, Trump is asking for a swift deposition of Rupert Murdoch in his lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal, citing the media mogul's advanced age. Trump has sued the billionaire over an article in the Journal, which is owned by Murdoch's News Corporation. The article had alleged that the president had written a bawdy letter to celebrate sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's birthday in 2003. The $10 billion lawsuit states that the publication was attempting to harm the president's reputation. Dow Jones, the Journal's publisher, has stood by the reporting and said it was prepared to defend itself against the president's lawsuit. And well, for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live from New York. Hi, Susan. Talk to us about the latest statement wherein Trump has clearly turned down invitation to Epstein's island and says that was a part of perhaps his good judgment.
Yeah, so we knew for years, even before Trump became president, that there was this very famous incident. Actually, it was very big, and it was in the headlines, where Donald Trump threw Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, and he never associated him with him since. We do know from the material that's been out that Trump, along with his children, and if I'm not mistaken, his previous wife was on an Epstein plane, but it never landed in Epstein's island. Nonetheless, this is part of the pattern where the Trump administration, President Trump himself, is really not only trying to distance themselves from Jeffrey Epstein himself, but also this case in general, hoping that it'll go away. But as you can see time and again, no matter where the president is, these questions start to arise. I think what will be very interesting to watch next is this lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. Rupert Murdoch, because of his old age, even Trump's lawyers have acknowledged that he's not going to be able to sit in court or be a witness in any way when the trial is scheduled. But it appears that by the end of the day yesterday, which was Monday, a judge did order that Murdoch submit an accelerated deposition and respond to a set of questions from the Trump team. So we're looking into that now.
Right, Susan. Thanks for joining us at Race to Power and getting us latest.